Let's go to our last celebration for this video for today. Let's go to East Bay. We got Nazura, BlinC Esports, Nazura. Just had to shout
Uh,
that out real quick. Nazura, take us through. First of all, let's get a lay of the land. What are some of the tournaments in East Bay that happen right now?
yeah, so I mean, East Bay pretty much just limited to two tournaments. We have Galaxy on Sundays, we got T Sports on Saturdays. That's pretty much it. The majority of East Bay crowd, we're all grinders, so we're out here traveling. East Bay hitting up a lot of South Bay tournaments, a couple North Bay tournaments. Um, but yeah, generally just a very dispersed region in terms of like where we compete.
Yep. And so as such, who do you have on your short list of players to out for from East Bay at the Arcadian?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've kind of created three different categories of group. There are a couple players in, each couple categories. Some of them are East Bay, some are honorary East Bay, which is, they just show up to our East Bay tournaments and don't really compete anywhere else. So the first three people I want to talk about are the people, who have pretty high seeds, definitely deserve those high seeds as well. So the first two players I want to talk about are Era, Future Doctor, and Hyro, who's, obviously here with us today. Hyro's humble. I am going to gas him up for him. Pretty much these three players, very strong results across the board. All three of them are seeded to make top eight, so he's very unsurprising. So Era, the resident Steve of NorCal doesn't compete, but when they do, they definitely make an impact. Recently beat Portix at Galaxy, wins on me, wins on Hyro, beaten Crimson, beaten Tuan, beaten Luisito, beaten South at Poca. And one of the very few people in NorCal with a positive record on Poca. So definitely something to take note of. Also beaten Baron. And overall, just a very strong player. Probably the most inconsistent out of the three players I've mentioned, but definitely someone to look out for. Next player, Future Doctor. I'll always say this: you're not a NorCal player if you have not heard of Future Doctor. There's the infamous clip of Daddy, the popping off before the game's over and losing the set because of that, or the infamous games question mark DM from Future Doctor. If you ever heard of one or the other, then you probably are NorCal. But yeah, Future Doctor, wins on Mind in the Luigi Ditto, beaten Infamous, beaten Tuan, double eliminating Pure Salt at one of the tournaments he's went to. I believe it was Beyond the Limit. Super strong wins overall. Definitely a bracket demon for Luigi's alt as well. So Future Doctor definitely someone to watch out for. Extremely huge lab fiend with Luigi. Doesn't drop a single zero death once you grab. No, my best DA is saving you. Also has a very strong Pikachu as well, so definitely something to look out for. And then obviously, Hyro on the panel with us today. Super strong player, as we all know. Took a set off of Mind of the Galaxy. Obviously, one of those very stacked for 7th place tournament. He pretty much runs Santa Cruz. So Hyro's Pichu, definitely, a menace. No, shout to his brother, but definitely a menace to watch out for. One of the strongest combo games in NorCal, one of the best movement, the best follow-ups, really strong disadvantage overall. So Hyro definitely deserving their seed. Yeah, so those are three strong players. Three wild cards I want to talk about. Were a couple lesser known players, definitely strong players as well in their own rights. So Aiden, he's a Peach player. Been competing mainly in East Bay and San Francisco. So Aiden's definitely one of the players who are improving very quickly in terms of getting the conversions down, things like that. Aiden, I believe, got second at Galaxy, also third at Galaxy, where he beat GT Smiley, he beat Salt Lord, he beat Splash 64, which is an extremely niche match. So very strong fundamentals. Has a couple good wins. Like also, I believe he has a JWL win as well. So definitely one of the up and comers. I expect him to do well. We'll see. We've got Honda Aloe, or just Honda, if you've heard of him. Definitely a younger kid, Dr. Mario main. I used to grind Wi-Fi a lot. So Honda doesn't compete, but when he does, he usually, does extremely well. One of his, more notable runs is at Fanmade, where he got 5th place, where he beat Crimson, he beat G Shark. He has wins on Twan. He has wins on Era. He has wins on CERN. He has wins on Baron. So, this Dr. Mario K. Rool combo, very deadly. This is definitely one of those players where He's exactly going to get a download on what he's doing, and when you do, it's probably too late. So, definitely keep an eye out for him. Last player I want to talk about is CERN. So CERN's definitely been playing the game a little less. Very strong Snake main. Brisa named her cat after him, so definitely a integral part of the community. But yeah, CERN definitely doing well. Wins on Junkyard. Dude, he, one of the last people Klaatu faced in the game before Klaatu took a big break. And he actually beat Klaatu. He has 5 wins on Poka, wins on DT Smiley, wins the Fear, who's NorCal PR. And overall, just a very, very strong player when he's feeling himself. But I'm excited to see how CERN does at the Arcadian. I know he's going to be practicing very hard for it. So, on his mind, he has a lot to prove. So let's see how he does. Last player I want to go over, and this is probably the topic that, NorCal is not going to really know much about, considering this player, I don't think has ever competed in a single NorCal tournament, but despite this has the first seed. So let's talk about Chave. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of him. I kind of want to just dive into why he's the first seed and, why he's such a threat to watch for. So Chave is pretty much, he's pretty much a Wi-Fi grinder, but when he does go offline, he wins. He has 6 offline tournaments so far, 2 of which are super majors, those being Genesis and Main Stage. The other 2 being Game Labs and another SoCal tournament, I believe. So Chave is a Kazuya Terry player. If you haven't heard of him, you better start doing your research. He pretty much has one of the strongest Kazuya punish games in the world, I'd wager. Definitely like one of the top 5, top 10 Kazuyas in the world right now. He placed 65th at main stage, 257th at Genesis, but at main stage he took down really powerful players. He took down Cesaro and Plug, who are current, SoCal players. Cesaro actually making top 8 at Wave Dash. At Genesis, he took down Jumpsteady, who's a former SoCal PR player and plays 067, which is a character that's very difficult for Kazuya to catch. At his last 2 locals where he won, it's time to duel number 20 and Game Lab Smash number 53. He won both of them. He won It's Time to Duel with only dropping 1 game and won the entire things through winner side, beating players like Spanky and Lomox, who are very strong SoCal players. But his GLS run is probably where his GLS run is probably where it's been highlighted the most. He lost his round 1 to a Pikachu player named Note, and he ended up winning the whole tournament through losers, winning 11 sets in a row. And how many games dropped? 1, 2, 4, 6. 6 games dropped through the entire thing. So this Kazuya is definitely a threat. He beat Marvelous Marco, he double eliminated Elvis, and he pretty much just ran the SoCal gauntlet all the way to winning the whole tournament. So Chave, by far, one of the biggest threats in the tournament, definitely does not have a Mickey Mouse either. His projected has him playing players like Hyro, has him playing a couple other players who play those small deadly punish game type characters. So definitely someone to watch out for in the Arcadian. I don't think anybody's sleeping on the kid. But yeah, he has to beat Future Doctor. He has to beat Smuna, who is SAC PR. He has to beat X-Ray, who we were talking about earlier. So definitely someone who's going to have to prove his skill at the Arcadian, and someone who can realistically take the whole thing. So that's pretty much my spiel. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that.